My name is Andrea Petrut, founder of Living with a Healing Heart. Today I'm honoring the gifted human who didn't live to see her vision or the world fulfilled. It's Jolie Elan. She envisioned and worked continuously to bring into reality a world, a society sustainable for all, both nature and humans. This is my way of showing her that her vision stays alive and can come true one day. The story that follows is a proof of what happens when a human being reconnects with Source everywhere and within and follows the guidance that comes through the wisdom of the heart. It is also a way in which you can see manifested a saying like, when the student is ready and has a mission called forth by the soul, the universe conspires to support the student to fulfill that mission. Meeting Jolie Elan online in the fall of 2020 was the perfect example of how nature and Source guided different people to help two souls reconnect so that one of them can lead with more awareness from then on. In this case, if this is the first time you hear about Jolie, know that she died on November 30th, 2020, shocking loved ones and all who knew her, as it came too short after the bad news she received about her cancer. She left this world right on St. Andrew's Day when I was opening myself to grieve my mother's death after the first time in 29 years. Now, the full story of my encounter with Jolie starts in November 2019, when a woman named Carol listened to her guidance and came to a class she didn't need because she took it before and was well on her way. As it turned out, I was in that class and she was there to meet me and guide me on my journey to heal my body and take a huge turn in my life. Carol is a dear friend and a registered holistic nutritionist who opened my eyes to the field of health, nutrition, and herbalism. She highly recommended Stephen Horn as the go-to source for learning about plants and their use. As I always go down the rabbit hole, I took some of Stephen's classes that combine plants and emotions, and little did I know, I would hear he recommended a book that Matthew Wood from Matthew Wood Institute of Herbalism wrote. Right after reading this amazing book called Vitalism, I signed up for Matthew's newsletter in June 2020. In July 2020, so 1 month after, I read in the newsletter that they had a new class called Language of Nature, which Jolie Elan had, and it was live online on October 13th, 2020. Now, 11 months would pass between meeting Carol in a class and meeting Jolie in her own class. Both these women touched my life in multiple ways. And I'm grateful for them both, for the connections they brought to my life and all those who led me to meet them. Now, before the live online class, I wrote an email to Jolie to see if she had any advice on how to support my oldest son in his education. I've been a home educator since 2008, and I've always wanted to help my children follow their passion. His passion has been nature uh, nature and animal conservation, and everything related. I thought that Jolie, as a deep ecologist, herbalist, consulting botanist, and educator, would be the right person to ask guidance from. She answered a week later with a short and sweet message, showing that she read everything I wrote and she cared. She knew what he needed even without knowing him personally. I realized she was gifted as my heart nodded while reading her words. In just a few lines, I could feel she was powerful, tender, honest, connected, full of integrity, clarity, and grounded wisdom. She made my heart feel warmth and trust my son and my own intuition without even putting it in the same words. I was live online with Jolie after a week after I received her email. It was challenging at first to be fully present while setting the dinner for my family. Despite all the noise around me, I heard her voice and I watched her speak. I will never forget. I felt like under a spell. I couldn't get my eyes off her. My whole body was nagging me to finish the other stuff and retreat in my bedroom to be fully with her. So I did. What followed was an inner journey into a world I never thought I would ever enter myself. Yet, thanks to her, I did it. I felt it. I lived it. It was my reality when she guided us through a meditation, and it became my reality a week or so after her class, while breathing along and listening to an old oak near a river in a beautiful park in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And here's another synchronicity. Jolie was known as being a voice for the oak people, the oak trees, and her life was full of experiences where oaks and acorns would be main characters, symbols, or elements. What's more, synchronicities happened long before her course started, ever since I laid my eyes on it. For example, as I wrote her in the email right after her course ended, one evening after you wrote to me, my son came to me after he went quietly on his own a bit closer to the trees in the park to say that he prayed to nature. I was very surprised. I'm talking about prayers and gratitude, but not much. Just sharing here and there, so definitely he didn't get that from me. When I asked how come, I finally found he watched videos where he learned about how the ancients were praying to nature and all those things they did. He just felt like doing something in his own way. Wow. It was an emotional moment to see my son listening to his heart and starting his own journey. He was actually thanking nature for different species he was fascinated about. Wow. From the perspective of a mom who did her best to reconnect her child with himself and feel himself, the others, and the environment around him, that experience was the moment where I knew he's ready to go beyond and feel more, be more, do more. I'm still going to push. I'm still not going to push, but observe and just be there and live my way. Maybe children don't need us much. Maybe they just need us out of their way more. You know, dear listener, in hindsight, watching Jolie's videos from her class, she looks so young and beautiful, open and smiling, and there's no reason to suspect what goes beyond the look inside the body or the soul. You can feel her energy all the time, peaceful, loving, open, full of integrity, connection, knowingness, rooted in Mother Nature and deep values she lived by and teach and taught by. In those videos she feels, and she's always been magical, inspiring, empowering, caring, and tenderly showing what is possible, guiding the listener through a forgotten terrain to remember in a way that is at the threshold between a world we can all see and another aspect of that world we all have the opportunity to understand and communicate with. I kept sharing about her to friends and colleagues from different classes I've been part of. I shared on my Facebook page, and everybody had to know about her. Here are summarized some of the ways in which my interaction with and learning from Jolie and later joining her loved ones and her memorial impacted my being and my life. She taught me how to remember where I live and how to honor the original stewards of the land. She always had land acknowledgement in her videos and emails, and she had her own way of doing it. It opened my mind to inquiring and learning more about the land I live on. She helped me fulfill a lifelong dream of being one with nature in my own way. Now I support others to reconnect with it. She also made me realize I was not crazy, and I wasn't the only one who had experiences at the threshold between worlds and dimensions. When I heard others talking about her at the memorial, I got courage to continue being me and ask for support and find my tribe, as this path is one of the most challenging in these times. We all need the support we can get. Her responses to me in the emails and how life unfolded showed me again and again that life is precious and every moment matters. When I heard she died, I traced our conversations looking for my heart's answers to the question, did I let her know how she impacted me in my life? Did she hear how much I appreciated her and her work? It was comforting to know that yes, I listened to my heart while she was alive, while she was here with us, and wrote to her and especially told her live that day on October 13th, 2020. Her memorial service with family and dear friends had so much wisdom and so many life lessons. For me, as a soul seeker and light worker, that I would need to write many books to show the complexity of what I received and what I understood that day. Maybe I will write some blog posts or video or shoot some videos about it sometime in the future. I know you can find some of the things I shared in the memorial service on December 17th, around 1 hour, 16 minutes into the video, and sometime later on. I invite you to watch both memorials if you are strong enough, as both are wonderful celebrations and unique celebrations of a precious human being and an out-of-this-world soul that had ripples in the world. There is one extraordinary thing that happened after Jolie died, apart from what I mentioned. At the memorial, I exchanged emails with a few people. Her friend Ari Golden interviewed me, and Amy Vanessa shared during the event that she knew my sacred storytelling teacher, Jolie Elan, was another friend of Jolie Elan. That's where I was in those moments of, what a small world we live in. And what I heard from Amy Vanessa is another way in which Jolie touched my life. It's about aliveness, presence, Here is what she wrote to me, and I'm sharing it with her permission. I know both Leah and Jolie through a shared community that puts a homegrown community festival gathering each year at summer solstice. Together, we create a yearly event full of connection, live music, play shops, artistic parties, social justice sharings, and more. This group has also become a year-round community for me for the last 15 years. There are so many amazing, beautiful change makers among us. I always felt that it was a treat whenever I had the pleasure of connecting with Jolie. She was more of an acquaintance than a dear close friend of mine personally, although she was very close to dear friends of mine. In those moments of connection, she was just so present. Within seconds, I would feel so incredibly seen. Whether we were talking about something deep and meaningful or just laughing, dancing, and playing, like in her Elvis costume, she was with you and not looking beyond you or what is next. She was a straight shooter and spoke her mind, and also did so from a place of love and vulnerability in herself as well. She was such a powerful being, was working so hard to protect the oaks and all connected beings. It is such a loss. Did you hear the word present? That's what struck me. That she was present with people in any way she spoke to them. I am grateful for Amy Vanessa for sharing this with me and allowing me to share with you, as since I read this story, I kept looking for mentors, coaches, and teachers who could be present with me, who had the same aliveness in their bones, in their expression, in their presence. And I did. Leah Lamb continued to be one of them in terms of storytelling. Then I found Alina Mihai and her team, and my colleagues in the program I follow with her for personal branding. Then I found Laurie Smith as a speaking and leadership coach. And there are many others that I will share in a blog post. Jolie Elan feels alive while looking at her in her videos, in her recorded courses. It's like she never passed away. She left a huge legacy through her work and all the lives she touched. If you are an intuitive person, activist, coach, teacher, healer, nature seeker, ecotherapist, herbalist, creative, nutritionist, writer, conscious entrepreneur, conscious leader, magic person, soul seeker, or anything in between, and you want to deeply reconnect with nature in your own way and through the eyes of a unique ethnobotanist and ecologist, follow Jolie's courses. She has 3 courses, actually 2 courses. She has 3 courses, but 2 are connected. Introduction to Nature, Language of Nature, and she wanted to create also Dreaming with Nature, but she didn't get to it. And the other course is, I think, something to with botany. I will give all the links in the description. Also see her memorial page. You'll also have the link for that. And listen to Ari Golden's interview with Jolie on her page about the oak ancestor, because that's how Jolie was named. I love you, Jolie. And I thank you. I will always remember you. You live in my heart. I love you all. May this inspire you. And may you have the courage to be yourself, whatever the world says about you.